NorCal, 209 King of Comedy. It's Rick without the K. James presents, in my opinion, podcast.
All right, you guys. This one's gonna be. There's too many to put on this motherfucking list. We're gonna talk about underrated MCs. I was speaking to Kara about this a couple weeks ago when we were talking about trying to come up with the questions. For me, first and foremost on the list goes Tretch. If you don't fucking think that Tretch has bars, then you don't listen to fucking hip hop, bro. He's influenced people like Eminem. So if he's influencing one of the greatest rappers ever, then you know he's gotta have fucking bars. Tretch for me, I think Luda never gets put in.
Right, true.
And then I think fucking Luda does his thing. He was the newer version of Pac. Underrated. I think I'm gonna leave this.
How was
guy's
he the
name.
newer version of Pac? Explain that part.
Just the way the infliction of his voice to make things. Pac was great at that. Like Pac would say something, and just the way he said it sounded more powerful. And Luda has that. Like Luda has,
Like
throw
Red
that
That
bows,
ability.
that ability to just, and you move, bitch, and you're like, yeah, move, bitch, move, like, yeah. So
Didn't
he
you
has
hear
that
Didn't you hear
ability.
Ludacris move, bitch.
Yeah. Did you not hear him,
Yeah.
bitch? Right. So I think so. Those two for me are probably a top 10 of underrated MCs. I can go on forever, but I'll think about it while you guys go. Kara, who you got on your list?
Well, I have one you and I were talking about was Black Thought.
Like that,
Oh,
I
absolutely.
have him on my
Definitely.
most
Absolutely.
underrated because I friggin' love him. Love everything the Roots has done.
Yeah.
Always listen to them. He's just amazing. I do have Beanie Sigel, which you and I talked about.
Yeah, I like some
love
Beanie.
him. He should have gotten more time, but of course, being under, I think he was Diddy's stable. Like,
I think that's Jay-Z being Jay-Z, holding real talent
was
away.
it Jay-Z?
Wow.
Damn, you don't want. We could do a whole
Wow.
episode on dick.
And
things
this coming
Jay-Z.
from a guy wearing a Yankees
Yeah,
hat.
yeah.
Jay,
Yeah.
just know that
I'm
shit.
just saying. Sometimes.
I do have Keith Murray because I friggin' love him. And I wish that he would have gotten more time, but I think he ended up in jail sometimes, so that might have messed
He
him
was his
up.
own demise. All right.
Right.
I will say AZ.
Okay.
Love
AZ, yeah.
And another old one that I think I had like 3 CDs of, but I could never get enough of, which is super old, is Kwame. He actually still does a ton now. I think he's a producer and does a ton for rappers nowadays, but y'all don't remember Kwame?
Kwame, I'm
I
going
through
through
you were
my
going to say DJ
brain.
Quick, but
No, I'm going through my brain, but I cannot remember Kwame.
No.
Okay, he was polka dots. Everything he did was polka dots.
Okay.
Yeah, I love Kwame. He had the nice fade with the little, yeah.
I will have to Google
I
I
that.
think that was called Kid and Play. I
No,
think
no,
you're thinking.
no.
Polka dots, high hair. Yeah.
He was a sexier, sleepy-eyed version of Kid and Play.
Yeah, we should have said that for
Uh-huh.
best
He was
best
like-
duos,
He
right?
was like the Prince-style rapper. Just
Oh.
look him up.
Okay,
I like
that'll be
that.
someone that I listen to once and never hear again.
Hey,
This guy.
he is
All
East
right,
Coast,
Ruth.
though.
Who you got on your
I
list
do.
of
I do want to
underrated
say.
MCs?
I do want to start off with Black Thought. We mentioned him earlier, and I want to just say I think the reason that he's underrated is because guys like him, and I mentioned this a little bit earlier, but guys like him, they get put almost in a different category that hip hop heads don't usually go to. I mean, usually you're talking about the broader spectrum of the artist, but there's some artists that you just hear their shit and you're just like, you know what? They're not of this ilk. They're of a finer quality.
Yeah.
And they don't need dope ass beats. They don't need everybody to know who they are. They don't need hella likes and shit.
That's like Cool G.
Yes, people like Big Pun took a knee and kissed the ring. Like you just put there's certain artists where they are you familiar with that story
What?
of Big Pun taking a knee?
No.
Bro, when Big Pun met Cool G Rap, you never heard that story? Big Pun said it himself. He was like, when I met Cool G Rap, when I met him for the first time, I got on my knee, I kissed the ring. Or I'm sorry, Cool G Rap said that about Big Pun because it was after he died. It was like a documentary. Look that shit up, bro. That's how much respect Big Pun had for Cool G Rap.
Love
Crazy.
rap.
So anyways, that's my point. There's some artists that are like in a certain ilk, and I think that Black Thought is one of those people. In the future, people are gonna study Black Thought's lyrics, and they're gonna look at what he did and how he did it, and they're gonna look at him like a Rakim, the way we look
Yeah.
at Rakim today, another gatekeeper
Completely.
to a different,
Yeah.
standard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's what they were.
Yeah.
They opened up the gate to a new standard. So that's Black Thought's place in history, if
And
you
they
ask
have
me.
a live band.
Right, and on top of that, right, and also if you look at what Black Thought does, one of the most impressive things about him is that not only is he held in this regard that I just detailed in terms of hip hop heads, but also he does shit with Jimmy Fallon on a commercial level,
Yeah.
Yes.
and he's in
Do
both
Do you
worlds.
listen to his podcast? Because that motherfucker knows everything about everything when
Black
it comes to
Fallon?
music.
Jimmy Fallon?
Quest.
Oh, not yet.
Oh,
No, I haven't heard.
yes.
No, she was talking about
That's
earlier.
it, Yeah.
So for him to navigate in both spaces, I mean, that's super impressive and super underrated. That
He's
part,
been
especially
around
that part.
Forever.
Yeah, and he's had bars and he'll have bars
Yeah.
forever,
Yeah.
So he for sure is definitely on my list of underrated artists. Again, like he's of a different.
Sorry to
ilk.
cut you off,
Yeah.
but I want to throw it in there just because the people that don't know who Black Thought is.
Yeah.
Again, I mentioned Sway in the morning earlier. He's on there with, again, my favorite rappers too is Method Man, and those two go back and forth.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen that clip, go watch that shit.
Right, and if you don't want to do the homework on figuring out who Black Thought is, and you want me to tell you where to go to, just straight up one clip. It's a 10-minute video of him
yeah.
doing the freestyle on Funkmaster Flex.
Yeah.
10 minutes straight, and I'm not being cute. It's literally 10 minutes of him rapping,
Yeah.
or damn near, like 9 minutes and 40-some seconds. It's fucking incredible. So if you don't want to take the time to figure out who Black Thought is, even though it's not that hard, and you just want to watch one clip, watch that one. Go to YouTube, type in Black Thought Funkmaster Flex freestyle. It's really a moment in hip hop history.
Yeah.
That whole clip. So that's the
And
type
they
of
had
shit
a
people
great
will study
song
in the
with
future.
Erykah Badu.
And what?
And they had a great song with Erykah
On top of that,
Badu.
you got me sold. You're speaking to the choir right now. You're singing to the choir. So yeah, so he's definitely on those lists. Another guy that, because he's on a guy who is in my top 4 that I feel is also underrated is Tech-9. Because not just because what he's capable of doing, like with the microphone and with different cadences, but also if you really listen to his music, like the production value is so high, and it's very musically inclined. He does a lot of harmonies with his voice. He's not just spitting hella fast because he can. He's doing harmonies. The lyrics themselves, they're always comprehensive. Like what he's talking about with certain.
And if you work out, man, Tech-9 is
Exactly.
He's got bangers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if you ask me, like I said this earlier, Tech-9 could rap about anything. That he's not he has that much range, like on an emotional intelligence level, like in terms of an artist, he has that much range that anything he raps about, you'll buy it. Like he rap about gangster shit, you'll buy it. If he raps about some funny shit, you'll buy it. If he raps about titties, he's got a song about titties. You'll buy it, like because he's that good. So, and then on top of that, you add the fact that he's 100% truly independent.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, I think Strange Music, the label that he's with, is the most successful independent label in the world in terms of numbers that I don't know nothing about, but they apparently that's what they are. So it's the ultimate hip hop personification: extreme talent, extreme hustle, together. You know what I mean? So he's super underrated in my book, Tech-9. He doesn't get the love universally and then the weird thing is at the same time he is loved universally. He's like another like cult following.
He's a rapper's rapper and shit.
Exactly.
Where,
Exactly.
I listen to some of his stuff, not everything, but he's also like he works with, again, another underrated person is Hopsin. Hopsin, fucking, it just if you don't know who Hopsin is, because you're looking at me like
No, I know.
Another good one to look
that
up.
dude
Yeah.
is that dude is just raw too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I listen to his shit, and normally that's what I'll put on if I'm working out
Right.
too. Because if that Psycho song comes on with both of them on it,
Right.
oh, bro, I could just repeat that and I'll run fucking 10 miles in 9 minutes or some shit.
It's like you're getting energized by the skill, the ability, like the skill set that they have. I mean, that's the beauty. That's the beauty of a good rapper, and also that's what's dope about rap music is like, it doesn't really matter who it is. If you recognize the flow, the ability, man, you can't stop listening to it. It pulls you in. Fucking love bars, man. Love bars.
And I think another person that doesn't get his kudos out there that's underrated in my eyes, I feel like, is Scarface, man.
Right.
Scarface doesn't get his kudos, man.
But now,
and
what
he's
do you-
been around so long.
What do you think is underrated about him though? Because it can't be the lyrics. I mean, the lyrics are there, but they're not like. He doesn't have like
I
world
don't know,
class
because
lyrics.
he comes out here and tours like once a year too.
Yeah.
So if you can catch him out here, he was at I want to say it's Harlan's in Sacramento. There's a hip hop club that does shit out there, and I wanted to go see him, man. Where you put on any of the Ghetto Boys shit. I grew up in that era. You know what I mean? My mind's playing tricks on me. I know all the words to the fucking song, but I think it's just some of these artists have problems transitioning over time, and I think he's one of those artists. Like I think for older people, they're like, yeah, we'll rock with Scarface, but it's that I don't think he gets the same love like a Jay-Z would, where he goes over, I can listen to Jay-Z, my son could listen to Jay-Z, where it's just stuck with my generation and that's it. So I think that's probably his problem, but
Is that just because his older stuff, like say Jay-Z, is more commercial?
yeah, I think that has a lot to do with it, and it probably has a lot to do with marketing as well. Jay-Z puts a lot of money into marketing himself and nobody else on that label. Right. But again, that's all topics we talk about when it comes to Jay, right?
Yeah, Jay.
Yeah.
We're talking to you, buddy.
Calling you out, motherfucker.
Sean Carter.
I'm cool.
Calling out Jay-Z. That's what we doing on this podcast. We blowing up, baby.
Yeah, this is called Fuck Jay-Z Podcast.
Boy, Charlie Murphy, my main man, Rick James. That's the one you think, the comedian Rick James. Get up.
I can't hear my neighbor crying, I can't breathe.
Please hit the subscribe button down low so you can see all new clips, all new episodes coming to you.